I'm gonna become millionaire in 1 month. PadSplit, even that is a single family home, you're cash flowing day one. To be honest, I was against social media.
You were against it?
Against it. So the game is not a fix and flip game.
You're a legend out here in these streets.
Wow, a legend. That sounds
Everywhere I go.
really
Alexis.
But about PadSplit? Or about multifamily? Or about what? I'm doing a couple of things.
You're doing a lot of
I'm
things.
doing a lot of things, yeah.
I think just in the Spanish community, you're period very well known. Regardless of what you're doing, I think you're very recognized, very admired, and people respect you a lot. So we were just in.
That's a good thing?
That's a good thing.
That's a beautiful
I
thing.
know.
That's a beautiful thing. We were just at a conference last week in Washington, and we were like, yeah, our friend Alexis is coming to the podcast. And we were like, Alexis, oh my God, I know Alexis.
Is it live? When can we see it?
When is it? I want to tune in.
Interesting. And that's in Washington, D.C. or state?
In Washington,
In
D.C.
Washington,
Yeah, because I
DC.
haven't done anything in Washington state.
No, I mean, it was a conference that people were flying in from everywhere, but still, they know
Nice.
you.
Interesting.
Yep. People from Georgia, people from Florida.
Texas.
Yep.
Interesting. And that's exactly what I've been doing in the last maybe 8 months or so, getting very involved with the Spanish community.
I love it.
And actually in the last 5-6 weeks, I've been like back to back flying to different events. And from here, from Orlando, tomorrow I'm going to Newark, another event that they invited me to speak about PadSplit.
Hilarious.
Alexis.
I'm promoting PadSplit everywhere.
We need to make sure you're getting compensated. So can you share with our audience, who are you? Where did you started? Give us a little bit of a history on Alexis Jimenez.
So 2006, I'm going to make this one a short version.
Okay.
Because I'm a business owner. I started this business in 2006. It's an IT company. We were talking about that
Yeah.
a couple of minutes ago. And I started this business. It was a startup. We started it only with $2,000 in capital, and it wasn't liquid. It was on a credit card.
Wow.
But I had the vision. I was hungry. I was like, I'm going to make something interesting here. So I was a sales director in a company that I used to work for. And my wife, she was a financial analyst in another company,
Okay.
in a multinational company. So we were dating at the time. And I told her, hey, what if with my experience in sales and your experience in finance, we join forces and we can create a company? These are the two most important departments in the company, right? One's bring the revenue and the other one can administer the revenue, right? Or the finance. So that's what we did. She didn't know what I was in her mind. That this is what she told me later, but in her mind she was like thinking like a super little business or store, like a one-man show type of thing. And but I was thinking big. So anyway, I started the business in 2006. The business grew up. We're making $3 to $4 million now. We're in the process to acquire 2 more businesses, and it's the expansion strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And but I started to face what was more business owners face, which is the taxes implication, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're making money. So in 2012, I was trying to find a way that I can offset the taxes legally. Yep. And at the time, everybody were watching like HGTV and those programs.
Drum roll.
So I wanted to, it was interesting, when you see like a distressed house and then you turn it into something nice. It was fun.
It's fun. Honestly, watching it. It's still great.
It's
so appealing.
So I told my wife, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have fun together as a family while we can offset the taxes, right? And we started with our first property, investment property was in Tampa, actually. We bought it in 2012, 46 grand only.
Wow.
We put 6 grand and we had a hard money. Actually, no, it was a private lender, but it was amortized to 30 years.
Okay.
Interesting. He was using his IRA.
Oh.
So he wasn't paying taxes as well. And it was at 14%. It was extremely...
Wow, that's really high.
It was really high. But my mortgage was $450, and I rented out for $950. So I was making
You were
money still.
making.
3 years later, a Cuban guy approached me and he said, "I'm gonna buy that house for you from you." And I said, "Yeah, let's get an appraisal. Appraise 75. So why not?" I sold it. A year later, a year before, I saw the house was on the market for $300,000.
Yeah, it hurts my soul.
So you know what? I After that I started. I get it 20 grand plus the revenue that I get every month from the rent. I was satisfied. However, I didn't know what I was missing. Um, in terms of the appreciation. So I didn't know what I was missing. So anyway, I started to do fix and flips. What everybody's doing, right?
Mhm.
Fix and flip, a couple of rentals here and there. And until 2022, my life changed in real estate. I decided to join Sub 2. Before I joined Sub 2, this is interesting because I didn't know anything about Pace, about Sub 2.
Okay.
So the guy that I was following, it was Jerry Norton.
We love Jerry Norton.
love Jerry.
We love
I love
Jerry.
Jerry. I was hanging out with him in Montana the other day,
Oh,
and
Jerry.
then in Puerto Rico as well.
Jerry has been such a important part of our process and our education because he was doing wholesaling,
He's the guy.
Long time.
right,
He's a
for a
guru.
really long time. And just seeing his family, his growth, his success in front of our eyes, we were like, wow. And he's just such a real guy.
He's a real person.
You know?
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, we did. He created with Anne Marie a mastermind for couples,
Really?
and we went there. It was in Puerto Rico actually, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, we missed it.
Phenomenal, especially for marriage that has a lot of kids.
Oh,
I mean, I have two only.
oh, we're not there yet.
But sometimes I feel that I have 10. Anyway, he's a great guy, and Anna Marie as well.
Yep.
So anyway, I was following him,
Mhm.
and he did an interview on YouTube with Pace,
Okay.
and that's where I was like, "Oh my God, what's creative finance?" I didn't
Uh-huh.
know what creative finance was. Well, you know what? I bought a property seller finance before though, but I didn't know what subject to is or innovation, the other
Right.
strategies.
Right.
So I decided to join Sub 2, and then 2 months later, Pace was invited to speak at a multifamily event.
Mm.
I went there, and all the slang, multifamily use different words.
Yes, yes, yes.
All the words that they were using, I was like, okay, wait a second. Multifamily, you're buying an asset, you're buying a real estate, but
Correct.
essentially you're buying a business.
Right.
And as a business owner, when I was listening or hearing words about P&L, balance sheet, budgeting, employees, I was like, wait a second, this is the perfect world for me. So I can buy a piece of real estate. Essentially, I'm buying a business
Mhm.
where this is the two things that I love the most. Perfect, let's do it. And I immediately joined a syndication group.
Wow.
That was my first experience in multifamily.
Just jumped right in.
Immediately.
It
How
was
big was that?
yeah.
170 unit in Atlanta, 19.5 million, the
Okay.
acquisition. And I joined immediately that group. I learned a lot. And then 5 months later, I joined another group in Vegas. We bought a $4.7 million dollar deal, 30 unit as well.
Lovely.
And we raised 2.8 million on that one. And we're killing it on that one.
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Love to hear that.
that deal is doing phenomenal.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then you joined Pace.
I joined
Well,
Sub 2
Pace was first.
2022.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
came the syndication.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, my
Exactly.
bad. I got it reversed.
But syndication is to create wealth. I thought at the time that
I
I
agree.
was, I'm gonna become millionaire in 1 month. That's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long-term game.
Yep.
It is.
I don't regret to do it, and I'm gonna continue to do it.
Yeah.
But it's not a game that if you need cash now, it's not your game.
It's not it. Right.
Yeah.
Appreciation will be there.
Yeah.
And you'll get some cash flow, but it's not gonna be that big.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
the long term, like we're talking about 5-10 years,
Long
that's where
term.
it's gonna be
Long term.
significantly worth it.
Yeah. So, and I'm not sure if we're jumping my stages here.
Uh-huh.
But that's exactly why I decided to do PadSplit, because I was looking for, okay, let me create wealth,
Yeah.
long-term wealth with multifamily, but I need cash flow now.
Yep.
And then I decided to jump into PadSplit.
And
I think I remember having our first call on
yeah.
PadSplit.
Uh-huh. How did
And
you hear about it?
yeah, from your point of view, what was you saw the Pace video interview thing on PadSplit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then you signed up on the website. How did it go from there?
So I bought the idea immediately.
Okay.
When Pace, he was having a conversation with Mandisa,
Mhm.
and I was like immediately, wow, this is a no-brainer.
Right.
Because I'm a numbers guy. In my mind, when he was explaining, in my mind, I was like doing the underwriting immediately. 8 doors, 7 doors,
Uh-huh.
10 doors. Oh my God, the PITI won't change. The utilities maybe increase a little bit, but it's not a big deal. So in my mind, it was like, this is a cash cow. This is what I really need to do.
Right.
And the acquisition cost is still, cheap compared with multifamily, because you're buying a single family home. So I bought the idea. However, I faced challenges, or the challenges that I faced is that I was trying to find a sub to deal, because I was looking for the low entry fee.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for the low interest rate,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at between Florida and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that even though the interest rate is so low, the TI, which is the taxes on the insurance, are so high that at the end your PITI was crazy.
Yep.
He's like, what is this?
Paying
Yeah.
$4,000 in
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah. So what happened
Yeah.
in 6 months, and that's where I met you. In 6 months, I was like searching, researching, studying. I mean, I don't regret to go through that season in life, because I learned a lot. But I learned that the business is not all about the terms. The terms are good,
Mhm.
but at the end, if you can make it happen in a way that you still profiting from the deal, why not? So my first one, actually, I bought it traditionally, and I got the
What
worst
is
loan.
traditional?
Well, I used a DSCR loan.
Okay.
Yeah, I it was the worst loan that I ever had in my life, because the lender, he was looking to well, based on, he wanted to do a safe lending, let's say,
Okay.
and he gave me 75% loan to value,
Okay.
9.99 interest rate.
Pretty high.
Crazy,
Pretty high.
but I'm still cash flowing like crazy, and that's why I decided to jump in. You know what? I was like, interest rate are gonna come back down soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know soon. Actually, it happened
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
500.
a little
Mhm.
bit. I closed on a deal, DSCR
Like half a
loan,
point.
last week at 6.97
nice.
DSCR. So
We just closed ours at 7.25
a couple of months ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Actually, they wanted to close at 7.46, and when I saw that the 5 years bond dropped to 3 something, I think so, I told him, "Hey, let's push the closing back, because you're gonna give me a better rate."
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
So anyway, they did it. So going back to the PadSplit deal, 9.99. Very bad loan. It's not the best one, but I don't mind, because the property is cash flowing very well.
Where is that property? You don't give addresses, but where's the property? What are characteristics? What about that deal was attractive to you that you said, this is the one that I'm going to go for?
So the property is in Atlanta. So I didn't know actually at the time that PadSplit was in Atlanta, and that's basically where they started.
Yeah, we
I
were
did- I
created
didn't
in
know that.
Atlanta. Yeah.
So I was like jumping around, talking to many people as I can. I talked to you a couple of times. I talked to other operators in Texas, Florida. So anyway, jumping around, I got involved with this guy. He was selling his portfolio. He was looking to move into the multifamily game. And I was like, you know what? I'm in multifamily. I'm looking to buy PadSplit. So we're reversing our path here. So he sent me the deal, and when I run the numbers, I was like, this is what I really want to jump into. First of all, it has 10 units.
Wait, hold on. I want to add some context. You purchased this house, DSCR, but this was a converted PadSplit before.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's an existing.
Exactly. Which is
Yes.
really awesome too.
Yes, and I wanted to, because it was my first deal.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it safe for me.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to cash flow day one,
Yeah.
and I did it. And so yeah, 10 rooms. I noticed immediately that it was mismanaged because I was studying capacity for 6 months, jumping around between Florida and Texas. So I knew how to use the map, how to do the comms, how to do everything. So immediately I knew that the property was mismanaged by the seller. And the rents at the time, he has only 5 tenants out of 10.
Wow.
Um they were renting at 150 per week, which is 600
That's
per
low.
month. Yeah, it's too
Yeah,
low.
that's very low.
Yeah, it's too low. So when I did the underwriting, I was like, okay, let me see what's the average rent in the area,
Mhm.
which is 180
Mm-hmm.
per week, or almost 800, close to 800 per month. And what if I prove I fill up, the whole property with tenants? So the numbers were crazy. I was like, I don't care about the loan, let me jump in immediately. So I put the property on the contract in May 1st, the first week of May, with only 5 tenants. When we closed in May 23rd, 24, he already put more tenants in it. So when I closed, the property had 8 tenants.
Wow,
Mm.
nice. So you were already cash flowing even more.
Yeah, day one. June, I net 2,500 in June,
Beautiful.
and which is my first month,
Love it.
and
Solid month.
solid month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I started to work with the local property manager,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately we got a new tenant. So at this point, we're in August 8th, and at this point, we have 9 units rented out of 10,
Yay.
Love that.
and we're increasing the rents to 180, which is
So you're cash flowing good.
I'm cash flowing very well.
You're going to cash flow even better now,
Yeah, I'm
increasing
excited.
those rates and
Yes.
getting your higher occupancy.
Yes.
Wow.
And when I closed escrow, I went to the property to inspect the property by myself, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we need a smoke detector here. We need to paint this unit. Anyway, my rehab budget was $500.
Love it. Love it. And it's generating you money. I love the way you approach that, because whenever you're looking at an asset for PadSplit and you're buying something that already exists, there's always room to grow. Even the
Right.
180 number that you have there, each room is a different size. Each room is a different bed. So per those characteristics, you can have different price points. And it's smart not to be 180 across the board. It's smart to have the kind of like 180, 185, one at 185, and have different prices for different types of members.
And also you can continue to improve those rooms. We
Yes.
see investors adding TVs and lounge chairs and desks, and all those additional amenities will also allow you to increase, not significantly, but still allow a better member experience, which
Longer tenure.
we want longer tenure anyways. So all those things are something that you can continue to add and improve in your property too.
Yeah. So now that you mentioned that, in my mind, because I came from the multifamily world, and that's
Right.
exactly what you're looking for. You're looking to improve the valuation, but the valuation is based on the net income that you can provide.
Correct.
But the net income essentially comes from the rent increase that you can do. And
Right.
most of the time, you can increase the rents if you're delivering a better product to the tenants, right?
Yep.
So because I came from the multifamily world, when I saw that the property was mismanaged, I was like, okay, I can apply the same concepts from multifamily to PadSplit. Essentially, you're buying a small multifamily, right?
You're treating it like an apartment complex.
Exactly.
I used to work at one, and that's what they would do: acquire one that's run down, fix it up, paint it, and then resell it once it's performing better.
Yes.
We do say you're getting multifamily returns on single family home assets.
Basically, I'm buying a single family home and turning it into a small multifamily.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
What-
But
what
you're
did-
cash flowing day one. In multifamily, you don't, I mean, depends on the asset, but essentially you don't cash flow day one.
Right. You still have to invest significantly into it
Yes.
before you're able to get some good revenue.
Yes. Actually, I'm involved in a small asset right now, a unit. And we've been, we stole the deal, to be honest.
Mhm, mhm.
We
I
bought
mean,
it.
the money's made on the acquisition, so it was a good acquisition.
It was a great acquisition. We bought it for 260, and it was a sub to deal, 5% interest rate,
Oh, nice.
$10,000 down only.
Alexis.
but the
what
property
is
needs a
that?
full rehab.
We don't
That's
see
really
those
good.
deals.
Those never come out in the light.
When we
Yeah.
see that in Facebook, it's like 180 down.
Well,
or
actually,
50
it wasn't in
down.
Facebook. It was another substitute student brought it
That's
to me.
definitely a text message deal.
Yeah. Actually, it came from another event in the Hispanic community.
Really?
Yeah, I was speaking about multifamily, and at the end, this which is my partner right now, he was like, Alexis, he's very experienced in the single family home world, and he was like, I'm trying to make these numbers work. There's no way, look at the comparables, and I was like, dude, that's not the way that you make the numbers work in a multifamily. So when I ran the numbers for him, he was like, oh my God, we can increase the valuation from 260 to $700,000. Yes, but we have to do this. And then he invited me to join the deal with him. So anyway, we stole the deal, but it requires a full rehab. So we've been 5 months in without cash flowing anything for us,
Right.
which is part of the game. It's part of the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm comparing that with PadSplit because in PadSplit, even that is a single family home, you're cash flowing day one.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that is why, to your early point, Alexis, PadSplit is such a good opportunity for people to truly build wealth
Yes.
and add cash flow,
Immediately.
which is hard to find, right? Because if you were to do long-term traditional rents, if you're cash flowing a couple $100, that's nice, but it's not significant into your actual monthly cash flow. There's months that you don't make anything
Mm-hmm.
because the AC went out. A hurricane came and now you have to replace a whole roof. So your reserves are all allocated towards not replacing that. In this space, you have enough monthly cash flow where anything that could occur potentially still allows you to have some cash flow, and the reserves are still factored into that.
Yeah. So when I hear about PadSplit, this is what I had in my mind. I didn't want to go through the Tampa stories that you sold a property years ago and you miss the appreciation over time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a buy and hold investor. I'm gonna still buying and holding properties. I'm not gonna sell my properties. Okay, so I had that clear in my mind. Okay, so what are my exit strategies? Okay, long term, mid term, short term rental,
Yeah.
and there's others like sober living. I'm not interested in that.
Assisted living.
Assisted living, that's a business. I'm not
Mhm.
interested in that. So then PadSplit, co-living. Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. So long term, there's no way that you can cash flow in this environment. I
Yep.
mean, there's some cities that you can cash flow, but it's tough.
Yeah.
With the interest rate. Midterm rental is nice. I have 2 midterm rentals. I never bought them on purpose. I ended up doing midterm rental because the other strategies weren't working out. So I ended up doing midterm rental. I'm doing very well, but it's not my core business, let's say. So short-term rental, that's another business.
Hospitality.
Hospitality is difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
I have done it before. Anyway, so I was like, okay, what is my sweet spot? PadSplit.
Love that. So, learnings that you've taken from this experience, if we're talking to that new investor, what expectations did you have going into buying this 10-unit house? And then have you adjusted anything in your next PadSplit property?
So this property, it was a learning experience. To be honest, I never went through difficult situation because I think that the only challenge that I had, it was, and it was the challenge, but it was the opportunity that it was mismanaged.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I think that I have a lot of space to growth, especially the other day I watched a video that you guys did and you were explaining about a couple of things that you can add and then improve the property rents, like adding a TV, which is $100, TV,
Yep.
Right.
or, small details here and there. That's one of the things that I want to implement because my goal in the next 12 to 24 months is to buy at least 240 doors. That's not the word, but rooms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have in my mind the multifamily.
It is doors.
It's the
Yeah,
same
it
thing,
is
bro.
doors, yeah.
It's the same.
It is doors.
Ori says it all the time. No one ever says in an apartment complex, I have,
One building.
one building.
Yeah,
They say we have 300 doors.
yeah,
Same shit.
So we have 47 doors.
yeah. So anyway, I want to buy 240 doors.
Yes.
And I'm very involved with and I want to solve the affordability problem that this country has.
Mhm.
And PadSplit is a perfect way to do it. And but I'll definitely wants to improve the product, the final product, with more amenities like TVs, maybe small details like that you can increase the rent and provide a better product to the
Yep.
tenant.
Any markets you're focusing on in
Right.
particular? Because you travel a lot.
Yeah, I
So
travel a lot, but right now Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And this is why.
Fernando's also on a world tour. He is on a world tour, traveling to events.
Yeah.
Being a spokesperson, so he's
Yeah.
traveling everywhere.
Yeah. So what happened is that going back to when I was studying Texas and Florida, I wanted to buy something in one of those states.
Right.
Mhm.
The average acquisition price is between $400,000 to $600,000, right? And then you have the taxes and insurance problem. Most of the neighbors, I mean, generally speaking, has HOA. This is another challenge, right?
Mhm.
So when I got involved in Atlanta, the average acquisition price is between 250 to 350, which is half of the price in these states. You don't have the insurance and taxes challenges, and it's easy to find a property without HOA.
Mm.
And PadSplit is very developed in that market, so that's why I decided to, at least for now, stay in the Atlanta market.
We can still find some 250s here in Florida,
Oh, really?
Orlando, and
I
Tampa.
might be interested in that.
Yeah, Miami is a different universe.
No, that's an animal.
Don't-
Possibly.
That's another country. They even say we're another country. But Orlando and Tampa, it's possible. We'll introduce you to some people.
That'd be great.
but I could understand the insurance portion.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a high risk for sure in those two states. We've always faced that challenge, right? And it's just some insurance companies completely leave the state and then they come back later on. It's just part of where we're located. Hurricanes, it's a big risk that we face, but people are still living here. People are still moving in, and we all need insurance regardless. So
How you compare Central Florida versus Texas? I mean, versus Tampa and versus Jacksonville, which is the three core markets for PadSplit, right?
Yep. Okay, so if I were to compare myself, Jacksonville had lower occupancy but cheaper purchase price. So you have to factor in that, you're getting a property that you could get for less than $250,000, but expect to be at 75% or less occupancy, unless you're in a diverse area where there's not many pad splits. In Orlando, you are spending less than Tampa, and you have strong occupancy, and you have a lot of upside because we don't know what the top looks like. Because of a lot of our properties, like they're in good areas, but they're not in super prime areas. If we had something that was in a B class neighborhood, we might be looking at prices that are in the higher 200s.
But I would say purchase price for Tampa might be 360 average. Orlando's like 340.
And Orlando, it's a better market.
So we're not
PadSplit,
that
right?
we're not that far in markets and price point Tampa and Orlando. I always say that they're sisters. They're sister markets. One fluctuates, they both fluctuate, but they're very close.
So I think that I was looking at the wrong places.
I do like, so I don't want to tell everyone to come to Orlando because we still want to buy more houses in Orlando, but Orlando's great. And the reason why I say Orlando's great, and Florida's great in general, and I'm not biased to Florida, cost of living keeps going up and wages don't go up. And a lot of people keep moving here. And so as we see a lot of development, they're not building more land. And since they're not building more land and they're not building much houses and there's a lot of people moving in,
We're growing outwards.
we're unaffordable. And if we're unaffordable, then that means that you need PadSplit.
More opportunities for us.
So as we keep building highways, more theme parks, more like hospital districts and all of that stuff, we need more PadSplits.
I think we just did a quick search last week on how many jobs are going to be created in Orlando specifically in the next 3 years. And it's like over 40,000 million jobs.
Well, you're going to have to repeat that number because
40,
you just
40,
said
40
40,000 million.
So maybe 40 million, right?
Okay.
40 million jobs is like 17,000 from Universal and Disney parks. We have I-4, which is a big project, our interstate that connects Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, everything. We also have some really big medical cities coming into Central Florida, having tons of jobs allocated here as well. So That is a big positive.
And actually, the airport. I
And
remember
yeah, oh yeah,
4 years ago, I was invited to bid on with my IT company on a part of the project in the airport. And when they were talking about the whole project, it's a project that started in 2018 and it ends in 2032.
absolutely.
It's a project with billions of dollars in budget.
Yeah, the Bright Line is now what's connecting the train between Miami and Orlando, and they're going to expand it to Tampa as well. So that's going to generate a lot of jobs, and we're expanding the airport. So definitely, so
Orlando has
much
been
growth.
always a growing market forever.
Yeah. Like if we choose to invest when we continue to expand our portfolio, we are focusing in Tampa and Orlando. It's definitely the markets that we want to continue to invest in. Do you
Now,
agree?
I can't say that I don't disagree with your assessment on Atlanta because Atlanta just keeps growing, but that is an example of what a fully realized city other than Atlanta could be. Because in one zip code in Atlanta, you probably have as much as one city does in another market. And, you know, if Orlando keeps growing, if Tampa keeps growing, and if we start growing towards each other, then ultimately it's going to end up being kind of similar to what Atlanta looks like. It's just who's buying early and who's buying late.
Yeah. So you guys are looking not only the cash flow that you can make now, but also the appreciation that you can get.
Appreciation.
Appreciation is a big factor for us.
Yeah.
It's a long-term game because we're buy and hold
Yeah.
owners ultimately,
Yeah. Yeah. We're in the same game.
you know?
And what
But-
about this business that you can cash flow very well,
Right.
and then you get the appreciation over time
And tax benefits.
and tax benefits?
And our properties don't typically fall under the averages that you see on the platform. A lot of our properties outperform what that average is usually. And it's because you do control on your acquisition, not only what you're getting the property for, but you also get to see what your not competitors, but what other hosts are doing. And some people are very happy buying Amazon furniture. Some people are happy to just put in the basic or put in an 8x10 room. But if you knew what makes you more money and what gets you higher occupancy, you're going to obviously look to go ahead and provide that better product.
And this is exactly what you guys are doing. You guys are delivering a better product on purpose,
Intentionally, yeah.
intentionally.
To outperform not just the hosts that are onboarding today, but the hosts that are going to onboard in the next year.
And how does that look like?
And factoring also long-term game because we're not just looking at today, but I just had this conversation with a host yesterday. He's like, I see a lot of properties in PadSplit are fully renovated. Will that affect my performance? I would say today, maybe not. But next year, you're probably will be outperformed by every other investor that is providing a fully furnished and fully renovated home. So long-term game, those things will come into play and will affect your performance and how desirable your PadSplit is in comparison to all those others that are being flipped, nice flooring, nice kitchen, nice bedrooms, nice furniture. So thinking long-term, all those things will definitely significantly come into play on your performance.
So besides the room, you guys provide something else for the tenants, like a better kitchen, better living room or space for them, or
We
common
don't
areas.
do living rooms so much or common areas. And it's funny because I think we guide people different than what we do ourselves.
Mhm.
And it's not that we do better ourselves. I think we guide better than what we do ourselves because you're only limited to the capital you have technically. So as we guide people, we guide them off the mistakes that are made prior. What's the best thing that you can do moving forward? We bought our properties 2 years ago. We did the 47 doors in 6 months. What, 2 years ago? A lot's changed since 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So we do rehab our properties, but that's because we burr. We need the appraisal to come back good. We need to compete with what flips are looking like in a market so we can get a higher appraisal and pull more money out. So we buy it cheap and we rehab it. And because of that, our properties are rehabbed. I will say though, I think that there's a large opportunity in new construction for PadSplits. It's repeatable. It's sometimes faster and you can charge more if you do it right. So if you're doing now 6 bedrooms, 6 baths, prefabricated house, and you're delivering it to the property, or you're doing new construction, now you have 6 premium rooms, 7 premium rooms that are making you $1,200 per room
Nice.
versus $800.
Nice.
But again, that's like future game, I think. I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing that today. Just very few.
Aren't you working with a builder that is doing like 8 en suites, like eight one ones?
In Texas, there's a builder that does whatever bedroom count is the bathroom count.
So is
And
it 1-1?
So en suites for every single room.
But at the end, the numbers work. I mean,
it's
you can rent it out for a higher price.
Even better.
100%.
Bathrooms are a premium of $50 to
I mean,
$60 a week.
let me rephrase the question. So the amount of money that you invest in the bathroom justify the rents that you can collect later?
Because it's new construction, it's already pre-plumbed and set up, so you can easily plug into the house the actual bathroom setup and the walls. Everything's permitted because it's brand new construction. So they're finishing with 6 bedroom, 6 baths, shotgun style, where you walk into the house and it's a hallway with room, bathroom, room, bathroom, room, bathroom, and at the end you might have a living room and you'll have a kitchen. And it appraised, it financed, it closed. That's a larger company that's in Texas. And then in Atlanta, I helped the host that did a prefab house. They built the house off site and then they bought it into the city and dropped it off at the site.
How many rooms was that one?
I think that one's a 6 bedroom, 6 bath.
So that is a 1-1 unit each one.
Yeah.
Private en suites.
Because when you're doing a pad split, right? How many private baths do you have in a 10 bedroom house?
In mine, I have only one with private bathroom. The other 3 are shares.
And that's the premium.
So
That's the premium, yeah.
imagine that your whole house, there's 10 bedrooms. There's only one private bathroom. Now imagine per every house, maybe one house, 50% chance that it's one private ensuite. How many rooms or houses are in your area? How many private bathrooms, private ensuites are there? There might only be 5 out of 50 units.
And those are the first one to rent.
At
Usually
the higher price.
They're desirable. People will pay, of course, the extra premium for that ensuite.
They don't mind to do it.
Because they want to have privacy on
Yeah.
their bathroom. Sharing bathrooms is not always ideal,
Yeah.
right?
Interesting.
Anyway, advanced training, we'll go through it.
I know. Alexis is already like,
Yeah, no, my mind is like running the numbers already.
Well, I'm not telling people, hey, go into a house that's already made and then create plumbing.
yeah, no, that's costly.
That's crazy.
That's costly.
And at
That's
the
not
end,
ideal.
you need to, how you deal with the county in that case?
It's permitted at the end of the day. I mean,
That's more of a builder kind of responsibility, and they kind of end up figuring it out.
But you have to, since the very beginning, tell them what the final product is going to be, right?
yeah, no one ever says it's a pad split. Like, hey, guy, pad split, co-live in, have
So it's the way that you present it.
Yeah, this is going to be a large family, multiple different families. It's a single family home and it's going to be a 6 bedroom, 6 bath. And that's how the prefabricated house was done. The other ones that are like 4-3, for example, they start off as a 4-3. It's a new construction, it's permitted. Then you go back into the house because it was pre-plumbed, and then you were just filling up the bathroom, so it could be a 7-7
Okay.
or a 6-6.
So some of it is just all you got to do is come in and finish the bathroom because the plumbing has already been made.
In the master closets, in the walk-in closets. So instead of a walk-in closet, now that's the rest of the bathroom.
Nice.
Pretty clever, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
But we'll help you out, obviously, when you're looking in Atlanta for some properties.
Well, Atlanta's a phenomenal
now
market.
I'm interested in Orlando.
sorry. I mean, to Ray's point, Atlanta's a phenomenal market. It's established. We have such a brand awareness there. We've grown so much, and we have still such a big opportunity to continue to grow that market. So being in an established market comes with advantages.
Yeah.
And being a pioneer in a newer market comes with other set of advantages. You set your own comps. You're able to kind of take advantage of the growth of that market earlier than someone else that is starting in the market a little bit later.
You can set the prices.
That's right. You set your own comps. You set your standard of the price. That's right. So there's tons of advantages to both sides. It's risk tolerance ultimately.
I do want to touch on something and pivot into another area. You are building brand awareness of yourself, and you're growing your name and your experiences, even what you teach. How important, or when did you realize that it was important to do that because we briefly touched on in the beginning by calling you a legend in our culture. And so how important is it to you first to talk to our people and educate our Latino investors in real estate? And when did you notice it was important to do that?
To be honest, I was against social media.
You were against it?
Against it.
Yeah. Uncomfortable? Just uncomfortable or?
I think that it was a loss of time.
Mm.
I was like, people are showing off, and I didn't understand until I heard Pace saying that in today's world, social media is just your business card.
It's your business card.
And when he said that, I was like, oh my God, I
never thought about it that way.
I never thought about
Your head
that
blew up.
way.
Mhm.
But crazy. And
It's your resume. It's your business
it's
card.
everything. And he was like, wait a second. This is me having a conversation with myself. Wait a second. Anytime that you're hiring someone for your IT company, the first thing that you look at it is the social
social media.
media. Because you want to see their personal life. You want to see if they're, I mean, a decent life on that person, right? You don't want to
Are
see
they
someone like
partying
messing
every
around.
weekend?
Yeah. Because it's going to affect the company, essentially, right? So anyway, I was like, wait a second. So in the same way that I'm looking at these profiles, people are looking my profile. I guess this is just guessing, but it's true. You know, people are looking at you all the time. And I was like, wow, business card. That's true. So anytime that I want or I buy an idea or I want to do something, I'm like 100% in, you know, and I immediately hire someone. Well, I tried to do it by myself, but then I understood that this is a full-time job.
It's another universe. It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. So I ended up hiring someone. And since then, I started to do, I was hosting, not Zoom, but live calls every Friday in the Hispanic community. At the beginning, we were a group of 2 or 3 people, and we grew up. We're more than 100 people, you know,
Wow.
joining that call every Friday.
800 or 100?
100.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
100.
like,
No, 800, not
Too
yet.
And
soon.
you were teaching just
Multifamily.
Okay.
I was, you know, and I've been very intentional on this. I want to teach things that nobody's talking about. Everybody's talking about fix and flip, wholesaling, long-term rental, sometimes Airbnb. But I wanted to do something different. I started to talk about multifamily, then PadSplit, and the other day I was invited to speak at an event in Detroit to the Hispanic community to how to lend money on deals or how to invest in deals, because unfortunately the Hispanic community, they still lending money with a handshake, and they have a lot of money. I was in an event speaking about multifamily, and at the end, a guy, not a guy, I mean, he was maybe a 70 years old guy. He approached to me and he said, I have $1 million in the bank account. How can I invest that with you?
Oh my God.
Muchas
So-
gracias.
Yeah, there's a lot of money out there. The Hispanic community
Yes,
has a lot of
because
money.
we work so hard and all we do is save.
Yeah,
And now it's time for us to invest it so it can give us
that's what we learn, right?
exactly. All we do is save.
That's what our parents taught us. So I met this lady in an event, and we connected very well. And she works for a CPA firm only for the Hispanic community. So she said that she's facing that all the time when she's doing their tax return. They have a lot of money, but she said these guys are making millions of dollars, and they don't know where to put this money on.
Right.
So she invited me to speak to this event about how they can invest in real estate safely, you know, as a PML or as a PMP. And at the end, another guy told me that he has $1 million in Latin America, in his country, doing nothing, and he's looking to invest that money as well. So there's plenty of money out there in the Hispanic community, but they need the knowledge. They don't
know how to do it,
they
how
don't
to
know
use
how to
it.
do it.
Yep.
And I don't want them to continue lending money with a handshake, because that's not helpful.
That's
No.
not safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty high risk.
Yeah.
And you're the one that's helping them with that.
Because I want to teach something different.
I love
I don't
that.
want to teach about fix and flip, about wholesaling. I have done it, but I don't live it. This is not what I do every day. And at the end, it's what everybody's talking about. I want to talk about something different: multifamily, PadSplit, how to lend money, how to do things differently in this world.
multifamily syndications. all that.
syndication, all that.
I love the
That's
value
that's
that you're trying to
incredible,
give.
and the fact that you decided to do a different approach, because you're right. Everybody does wholesaling and fix and flip.
Yeah.
It's more traditional.
Yeah.
So giving them different tools is ideal because we need something else. We need something
Yeah.
more
Different.
advanced,
Yeah.
or not just advanced, but something different.
Yeah. And I always tell them, guys, there's two ways that you can make money with green paper or white paper. And they're like, what's that? Well, green paper
Contracts.
is the dollar,
Yeah.
So, but what happened when you do a fix and flip? Now you have another problem. Because at the beginning, when you're doing a fix and flip, most of the time because you're looking for cash, right?
That's right.
But when you do when you make cash, now you have another problem where you're gonna put that money on.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's gonna depreciate on value, right? So, but when you invest in white paper, which is the asset, you can depreciate that asset. Get the tax depreciation. That asset will appreciate over time, and you're getting the cash flow. And then I always explain my Tampa story. You know how much money I lose when I sold the property for 75.
Right.
I made 20 grand. Yes, I made 20 grand, but I lost $250,000 in a couple of years later because I sold the house before. So the game is not a fix and flip game. I mean, for me, I know that everybody's doing fix and flip.
Well, and some people need to start
You
with
need to
fix and
start.
flip
I
to
get it.
to acquire some of the
Totally.
cash, right? And
I
have some
get
money to
that
play
part.
with.
I get that part. But what I don't get it is that 10 years into the game,
You haven't changed your strategy. You're not investing. You're not.
you are making money
Buying
today,
assets.
but what about tomorrow?
I realized that about wholesaling,
Yeah.
you're only as good as your last transaction.
Equally
Yeah.
with fix and flip.
Because I had a back surgery at one point because I herniated a disc and I couldn't acquire or sell, and so I didn't make any money. So then you realize, oh, if I stop today, I could be the top wholesaler in the country. If I'm not doing anything with that money to build residual income, then you don't have anything. And the fix and flip game is kind of similar. What did you do in your last profit, and what type of cycle are we in? And if you're not doing good with your sales and your profits, you're not doing good.
Yeah, and I totally understand the game. And I had a conversation with a syndicator. She has more than 300 million in under management.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the questions that I ask her is, but this is long term. You're making money long term. And what are you doing to make money now? And she said, well, I'm combining multifamily with storage unit that I can cash flow right now. I'm not in the storage unit world, but in my mind, I was like, okay, wait a second. This is why people are doing fix and flip, because they need money now, but they're not investing that money in something else in the future. So the perfect combination is to have a cash cow. It doesn't matter where the money is coming from. It could be your W-2, it could be your business, not real estate related, or it could be fix and flip. Whatever your money is coming from, you need a cash cow. You need to generate money now. But now you need the other side of the business, or the way to create wealth is that you generate money now, and now you invest that money into the real estate so you can get the tax depreciation, you can get the appreciation, and then the cash flow. And that's exactly what she told me. She's saying, I'm making a lot of money with storage units now, but I'm generating a lot of income that I need to pay taxes then. So with multifamily, I'm offsetting that.
Yep.
I'm getting the tax write-off. So I have the perfect combination. I'm generating money now, and I'm creating wealth over time with the multifamily.
That's what we call active income and passive income.
Passive income, correctly.
So your active is, to your point, fix and flip, W-2s, whatever that look like, and that passive is your investments that are bringing in that passive income.
Yes.
Month to month, year over year.
Yeah. It could be 100% owner, or it could be as a PMP as well.
Correct.
People ask me, I would like to lend money to you. I'm like, I don't mind, but what if you do this? And then I explain them what a PMP or private money partner is. If you lend money to me, I'm going to pay you back with interest, and now you have to pay capital gains on it, taxes, right? So, but what about if you become my partner and now you own a portion of the property? So now you get the tax depreciation. When we sell the property in a couple of years later, you get the appreciation as well, and then you get a portion of the cash flow. Isn't that better? And always, people buy the idea. It's that the people, they don't know how to. They don't know the difference. Yeah.
Do you have
I
a
agree.
preference between the two? It sounds like private money partner. It sounds like it, but do you have a preference?
My preference is private money partner. The reason why, two reasons. I think I'm always looking for their benefit, and I think that they will get more benefit as a partner than as a lender, right? As a lender, you're getting your money back in a couple of months later, maybe a year later, whatever the agree is, and but then you're paying capital gain, and now you have the same problem. Now you're
Yeah.
looking to invest, and it happened to me because my lenders, when I have a couple of lenders, they just want to lend me money. Okay, no problem. I'm good with that. But then a year later, they're like desperate. Hey, do you have another deal? You have another deal? You have another deal? And I always explain, and what if you um invest with me and you don't have to be grinding all the time to finding or looking for another deal?
Hmm.
I love that.
It's always taxes.
Taxes.
It's always taxes
It's
that
an
get all
honorable
of us.
It's an honorable thing that you're doing out here, because I mean I know a lot of people who just borrow money, and it's funny from our first episode, uh, another Latino investor where he says if you aren't raising capital, you're doing a disservice to yourself and your future, because you can only grow as far as the capital that you have.
Mhm.
So this is, I feel like the evolution to that is,
Completely.
yeah, not only do you raise capital, but to have now a partner that you retain in the deal so that you can keep the relationship going so that they can offset their costs as opposed to getting charged for capital gains.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
I love that. We have been looking to raise capital for ourselves for our own deals, because we want to continue to expand and grow our portfolio. So we're looking for those partners. We're looking for PMPs.
There's a lot of money out there. A lot.
you're going to have to quarterback a couple of those
A lot.
connections.
But
bro.
it's crazy the amount of money out there.
I know.
And
I
in Latin
know.
America, let me tell you something. You know, in Latin America, there's a lot of money, but there's a lot of fear because of the governments
I
that are in
know.
Latin America, and they're
Yeah.
looking to invest in the U.S.
They're looking to invest in here. It's safer.
Yeah, I have a friend. He's
It's-
from Mexico. He called me one day, like in his tone of voice, I felt the fear.
Yeah.
And he said, Alexis, I had I don't remember the amount of Mexican pesos, but in US dollars, it was like $100,000. He said, I had $100,000 in my house under the mattress, and someone got into the house and they
And took
stole
it all.
$50,000 from me.
That's disgusting.
I have $50,000 left in my under the mattress, so I need to put that money or invest that money in the US immediately.
Oof.
And this is not only Mexico; it's everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. All our countries. You know, we're going through it for sure right now.
So I had a conversation with Nick McGrew. You know Nick, right?
Mhm.
About it. Well, it wasn't a conversation. It was only a question. I asked him, Nick, how easy is technically speaking, or in front of the government, how easy is to raise capital from other countries?
Mm-hmm.
He said it's easier because the SEC is not involved because this is foreign money.
Interesting.
So if you set up an LLC and then set up the bank account for that LLC, you can raise the money from other countries, and that's it. It's very simple. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there are other aspects,
Of
behind
course.
it, but his answer was like, it's easier.
Interesting. Good to know. I think that's been something that we've kind of been hesitant about, not knowing how to handle money coming out of.
So I'm cooking
Other
something
different countries.
interesting.
Are you?
Yeah.
You want to share or no?
Yeah. Why,
Sancocho?
why not?
What you working
Why
on?
not? So I had, that there's different U.S. programs, like you can get a visa, these type
Mhm.
of things, in the U.S., but you have to comply with certain, requirements.
Yep.
I got involved with this guy that he's an attorney, or he's not an attorney, but he does the business plan for you, but he has the attorney in-house as well. Basically, what they do is that, or what I want to do is I want to create a fund where people from Latin America can invest in that fund.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine this. Imagine you live in Latin America and you want to what's the word in English, like dollarizar, like dollar convert.
Yeah.
Your
You want to
currency,
convert your currency into
your local
dollars.
currency into dollars, right? So everybody in Latin America want to convert their currency in dollars. Everybody. And so imagine, and this is what I tell people: imagine you live in Latin America, you have Colombian pesos. Let's say you want to exchange that into US dollars, but it's not going to be on the green paper. It's going to be on an asset, on real estate. So
White
now you
paper,
white paper. So now you own a portion of that asset,
right?
and your returns, even you still live in Colombia in this case, your returns are going to be in US dollars. So when you
Mhm.
get the conversion again, your return is going to be higher.
Mhm.
On top of that, I'm going to give you a visa so you can fly to the US for the next 5 years.
As an investor,
As an investor.
which is like a K1, I think.
It's a EB2, I think that is the name.
Okay.
He told me about, there's like 3.
Okay.
But I think that we're gonna do the EB2. But we're creating like a package where I can have the fund, I can raise capital, and basically I'm gonna pitch a package to them, so you can convert your current currency into US dollars, you get your
Love
returns
that.
in dollars, and you get the visa.
Beautiful.
So for them, it's like everybody in Latin America wants to go to the
Yep.
US, but they
Yep.
don't have the visa. And sometimes my people from Colombia, I have a team in Colombia. I have people that they been waiting 2 years, 3
For their
years to get the
visa.
visa. So imagine if you invest, I'll give you the visa right away, and then you get your returns in US dollars.
And there's a ton of high net worth people that are in Latin American countries,
lot.
dentists, doctors,
A
call whatever, and they
right.
feel like their way here is to try to build like an office or a business here. But in reality, if you're providing that type of service where, hey, let's start investing in some real estate or an asset class, then let's get you this visa really quick.
Yes. Actually, the multifamily asset that I talked before about in Atlanta, the 170 unit,
Mhm.
one of the GP members, he raised $2 million from Colombia only.
I believe it.
There's a lot of money in Latin America.
Like all our countries, like
Yeah.
it's not exclusive to Colombia, but
Yeah.
Argentina,
from
Chile,
Mexico to Argentina.
yes,
Yeah.
all the way.
We try to buy real estate in Mexico City. It's not cheap.
It's pretty.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
pretty
not
not.
at all.
expensive.
It's not. Yeah.
It's pretty expensive.
I'm looking to buy in Colombia, actually, Medellin.
Are you?
Yeah.
We're probably.
We flirted.
We don't know.
Where? Medellin?
Oh, I told you, Spain,
us.
we were looking at potentially getting citizenship.
So if it's Latin America, for us, it's going to be Mexico or Colombia.
For me, Colombia. I think that Mexico is Americanized already. I mean, the areas that you're looking to
I
invest
mean,
in.
Medellin's on its way over there too, though.
Ugh.
Medellin is.
Yeah. Well,
like almost
3 years ago, I was looking at an apartment at $50,000.
And
now
a
it's
couple of months ago,
150.
200.
It's
I
still
believe
it's
it.
crazy though, because it's still cheap. Because I remember looking back a couple years and going, "This is cheap," and then I looked at it again recently. I'm
This
going,
is cheap,
"This
and
is
we
still
didn't
cheap."
make a move, but it's not.
It's
you know.
relative to where you're at, though. I mean, ultimately.
But you know what I like the most? Even for me, good spots, and these are the ones that I've been studying in, because I haven't thought about Chile or Argentina,
Mhm,
and I don't think that I will mind at this point. But Mexico, Colombia, and DR, I like well, not Mexico necessarily, but in Colombia and DR, you can buy cheap, and your rents are still American or Europe rents.
They are still U.S. really nice,
Yeah.
nicely rents.
Yeah, so I was in DR a couple of months ago, and the guy told me he showed me a mansion, but a mansion that here in Florida easily could cost maybe $3 million.
Mhm.
He bought the land, he built the whole thing, all in 40 grand. I was like, dude,
What?
40 grand, and
the
he
land
said
in the house is 40 grand.
everything, all in,
Disgusting.
but a mansion. And then he said in
¿En qué parte?
Puerto
Puerto
Plata. Puerto Plata. And then he said, I'm going to rent this out on Airbnb at $200 per night,
He's
which
gonna
is
get it.
still,
Yeah.
the US prices.
I know.
He's gonna get it. ROI on that is
That's
crazy.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's beautiful.
And that's why I want to buy in, well, DR, I love DR. And I want to buy in Medellin. I would like to buy in Medellin as well, because I fly very often to Colombia.
Right.
Because I want to take advantage of those prices. I think that these countries in a couple of years is going to be crazy.
I
These
agree.
prices.
I agree. We're thinking the same. We ideally want to have a property in, Latin America, and then another one potentially in Europe. So we'll see
Let's see.
how that goes for us.
Yeah.
Alexis, how do you keep yourself motivated? Because your motivations change throughout your whole entire spanning from when you wanted to start your own business and your wife thought it was a joke, small company,
You
to
didn't say
it wasn't a joke, but hey, it's just gonna be us. to, oh no, we're making money. What keeps you motivated now when you have success and you're traveling? Because travel work is hard.
Yeah.
We
It's
don't talk
exhausting.
about it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
mentally
overwhelming. Yeah.
it's mentally taxing and physically draining.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And you give. And when you give, I don't know if you recharge, but some of us don't. And so you give, give, give. What keeps you motivated?
So I think that when I was starting, I didn't have anything. Just to put that in perspective, I was working for this company. I was making money at the time. I was young. I was 22, 23 years old. And I was making maybe 8 grand, $8,000. I'm sorry, for per month, but it was commission based.
Mhm.
And at the time, 20 years ago, $8,000,
That's
it
really
was good
good.
money,
Right? Yeah.
Pretty
for a
good.
young guy, single. I was making money, but it was commission based. So what happened is that in Puerto Rico at the time, that was 2006. In Puerto Rico at the time, we didn't have the sales tax that we have here in the U.S.
Mhm.
So the government implemented for the first time the sales tax, and then the company's revenue immediately dropped. I don't remember right now, but millions of dollars.
Wow.
So my checks from $8,000 dropped to $500,
Ooh.
and I was actually ready to get married with my wife in the next 2 months. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I came from at that point I didn't have anything, basically, and it was like a starting point again in my life.
Mhm.
So I think that what I had in mind is I want to make money, but then over time, when you are making money, money is not. It's a tool, You're making money. I know that you need to pay the bills. You need to provide to your house, but at the end, so once you have the money that you need to cover your lifestyle, what you're gonna do with the extra money? And answering your question, I feel more fulfilled inside of me when I'm giving that making money. And at the end, you see you're making money because when you give and give and give,
It comes
that
back to you.
it comes back
It's
to
like
you.
money's not the destination.
It's
right?
not the destination
It's
anymore.
a tool to the destination that you want to get to, but you're right, it's not.
Yeah.
That's not the end goal.
It was a destination, and I think that it's a season that everybody needs to go through.
Yeah.
Because when you need to pay your bills and you don't have money to pay it, now your destination is I need to make money to pay my
Correct.
bills.
Correct.
But then what? What's your next destination in life? What's your next season in life?
Yeah. I agree with you. We feel I feel the same way, and I'm gonna say we. It's a lot more it's outside of it just being fulfilling, money follows when you give.
Yeah.
Like it just comes back to you.
Yeah.
Right? When you're not chasing money, you're just chasing your passion, what you're good at, what you want to give to others, then money comes to you naturally because you're attracting abundance in another aspect. Abundance in education, abundance in giving tools to others, and it comes back to you because you're so abundant sharing and giving others.
Definitely. And in my case, when I do a deal,
Mhm.
and let's say I do a flip or maybe a pass flip or whatever, it feels good. But when someone else come back to you and say, you know what, I did this and I made money, I did that because I learned that from you, that's much better.
It's so much more fulfilling.
Yeah, by
It's
far.
very gratifying.
By far.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. What is your next 5 goals that you have? And how far do you want to get to PadSplit? So you said you wanted like over 200 units.
240 doors in the
Okay.
next 12 to 24 months. Another thing is that I want to build a hotel in Puerto Rico. I'm from
Mhm.
Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
And Puerto Rico provides the tax benefits
Mhm.
that everybody's looking. And that's why people are investing in Puerto Rico like crazy because of the
Mhm.
tax benefits.
Mhm.
That's why Jerry went over there.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
He has 8 kids.
But it's a no-brainer. Imagine buying a hotel that the acquisition price, the rehab cost, and then your first year of expenses, all that up, and now you can get a 40% tax back in the business. It's a tax credit, but you can sell it and then get a cash injection in the business.
Wow.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I heard there's something, and it might be that if it's over a certain amount of units in a building, that there's either a tax incentive or a reduction in your taxes in
So
Puerto Rico?
it's 7 units or more.
That's what it was.
That's what they consider something in the hospitality industry. It doesn't
Got
have to
it.
be a hotel. It could be
Airbnb,
a
maybe.
parador, an Airbnb. Not Airbnb actually. The
Okay.
Airbnb is not in the classification. But anyway, anything in the hospitality industry except Airbnb.
Got it.
So if you buy, in my case, I want to build something small, maybe 10, not more than 20 rooms. If I get that, so imagine simple numbers. Let's say that I buy these aren't the real numbers, but just
Yeah.
for the sake of the example, let's say that I buy for 200, and then I put 600 in rehabs. This is 100, and then my first year of operations expenses are 200. So I'm all in $1 million.
Right.
So now I get the 40% tax credit, which is equivalent to $400,000.
Correct.
I can sell it on the secondary market for 95 cents on the dollar on average, and get how much is it? 390, let's say. So I get now a cash injection back to the business for $390,000. And the
Beautiful.
valuation still 2.8, 3 million, because now you have a property fully rehab.
Mm-hmm.
But so basically you buy a property that worth maybe $2-3 million in this example for $600,000.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way for me to explain it is that, when you buy in Costco, at the end of the year you get a 2% rebate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically it's the same thing. So in this case it's not a 2% rebate, it's a 40% rebate.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
And you're going to reinvest into the business.
Yeah, I'm gonna reinvest that in buying another hotel.
Beautiful.
That's why they want to do PadSplits in Puerto Rico.
Maybe we'll be partners with you in one of them.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of desires for PadSplit in Puerto Rico, but we'll see. See how far
That'd
it
be
goes.
interesting.
That would be interesting. I think there's still affordable areas.
Let me tell you why Puerto Rico is going to be perfect for that.
Okay.
The social class is very divided in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Generally speaking, there's still middle class in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But there's very wealthy people living in Puerto Rico, and people that low class people living in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So the affordability, and actually living in Puerto Rico is more expensive than here in the US. Generally speaking, you don't compare that with New York, LA, but generally speaking, it's more expensive. And I feel that I'm traveling very often to the island. And when I go to the same restaurant that I go where I live in Ohio. So I go to, for example, Longhorn, Outback, the same restaurants, the ticket most of the time comes twice the price that I will pay in
wow.
Ohio. So because 93% of the products consumed in Puerto Rico are imported.
Right. It
So-
costs a lot more to get it over there.
Exactly. So it's more expensive. So the Puerto Rico has an affordability problem that PadSplit will solve it for sure.
We'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Alexis?
Not yet.
Not yet.
So
yeah,
don't start
soon.
putting PadSplits.
Soon.
Like 2 years, let's say. Like long term soon.
Yeah, don't start making PadSplits.
I would like to be part of,
Do
of
not
that
make
journey,
PadSplits
because in 2
Puerto
years, for
Rico.
sure, I'm gonna have the knowledge that I need, because that's exactly what I'm looking for right now. I want to buy more properties in Atlanta. I want to get the knowledge, get more skills, and then jump into something like that.
I would be there with you.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be there. Alexis, if someone wants to learn from you, someone wants to pick your brain, how can they reach you?
Easy. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and it's easy. Alexis Jimenez, PR.
He's there. Guys, you won't miss him. He's always in all the social media, so you'll definitely find him. What are you looking for? If there's anybody in the audience that is able to give something to you, what is it that you're looking for?
So right now, I think that I want I want to buy these 240 doors.
Okay.
So I definitely need capital. I have capital,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not enough to fulfill this goal. So if there's someone out there interested in invest with me,
Okay.
I will take a look at it. Definitely.
How do you
Fantastic.
want to acquire those 240? Just single families or also multifamilies?
I think that for now, single family.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to explore the idea to do multifamily
Yeah.
for PadSplit.
Yeah.
But I am not yet there. I want to learn more the process, or get more skills in the business.
Perfect.
Love it.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add?
Just we appreciate you being here on the podcast and sharing your knowledge with the audience. And I look forward to doing maybe a secondary interview where we talk about your successes and how you got to your 240 units.
Perfect. Thank you for
Oh, I
having me.
can't wait for that one.
Yeah, maybe we can do it in less than a year, right?
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Alexis, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you here for sure. It's his birthday also, so he dedicated some of his birthday with us today, which is an
Yes.
absolute honor for us.
I'm not gonna say my age.
Don't have to.
Thank you so much for being.